Gospodine Foliću, šta biste vi izdvojili kao najvažnije projekte koje možemo da očekujemo u Beogradu?
Samo mu promeniti njegovu prezentaciju. On ima svoju prezentaciju.
Gospodin ima prezentaciju, ja bih molila da...
Evo.
Hello everyone, thank you for inviting me again to this conference. Last year we had a presentation of actually making the city more appealing, more beautiful, better place for living. And I decided this year to actually get more into the urban planning. And this big project that we are talking about, which are actually the ground for big investors to come and invest in Serbia, in Belgrade. In the last 2.5 years, we actually adopted 150 detailed regulation plans, which is comparing to previous period more than 3 times, because in previous period we had between 10 and 20 plans per year, and only in 2016 we adopted a new general plan, a new plan of general regulation, and 67 detailed regulation plans. With speeding up the planning process and making planning more transparent, we actually managed to move forward a lot of those investments that Mr. Popovic just mentioned that were in a way stuck with the planning procedure. And we actually gave a new life to many investments, like, for example, this Skyline project, like Belgrade waterfront, these shopping malls that we are talking about, Novi Dom that you are also starting now. So most of the projects that we see today are actually the result of the adoption of the planning documentation. Alongside with that is what our minister just said, is that we have a new process of permitting issue, which is digital, which has a less space for corruption. That means that the permits are issued digitally and way faster than before. This is just a graphic that shows that in 2014 we had 36% of a territory of the city which was covered with detailed plans. Today it is near 60%. 2016 it was 55. Meanwhile we adopted a few more plans. So it's nearly 60% of the territory, and we expect in next 2 years, with all the plans that we started, that we will reach 75 to 80% of the territory of the city, which means that if you deduct all the green areas which are around the city, the rivers, we can actually say that we covered more or less the whole city with the planning documentation, which is the ground for all the investment. Now that's not only ground for the investment of the private investors, but it's also the ground for the investments that the city is making, the investments in the infrastructure. So I'll just mention a few of those that we had in a previous period. Okay, so we finished one of the main roads in New Belgrade, which is called Tošin Bunar, which was again stuck for decades, I think. We are working intensively on finishing the lot 1, which is connection of the street that I showed previously with the new bridge over Sava with Ada Bridge. New bus and railway station are on the way. We just signed a contract with the operator for the bus station. So we expect by the end of this year or beginning of 2018 to have the bus station removed from the city center into the new location. Prokop is a new railway station. It was designed to be here in the 70s. We finally managed to actually move with this project forward thanks to the Belgrade waterfront project, which is the motor project for a lot of infrastructure that is going on now in the city. What Mr. Popovic just showed before, all these infrastructure projects, or most of them, were actually powered by the idea to actually make this part of the city, the Sava amphitheater where the Belgrade waterfront is, to make it part of the city, Before that, there was a lot of waste, a lot of warehouses. So basically, the idea is to transform all these brownfields into the livable areas, to not extend the city beyond its limits, because the city has the limits. If we go beyond these limits, it means that there is a need for a lot more money for infrastructure. There is more pollution because people have to commute. So imploding the city into these brownfields, we are actually changing also the face of the city in a way of energy efficiency. We want the city to go higher, not to go wide. So basically, with Prokop and with this railway infrastructure that we are dealing with, we will remove all the brownfields from the city center. We are also removing the rail tracks that are now dividing the two rivers from the city center, from Kalemegdan, from the Sava Amphitheater, from Dorčel. So all these developments in Dorčel and in Sava Amphitheater will get a better value, I think, with actually connecting city, bringing city back to its rivers. We also managed to remove the intermodal cargo terminal from the city center, from the Sava Amphitheater into Makiš, which is also part of this railway infrastructure project. This is how it looks today, where just a couple of years ago we had the cargo terminal. We are also working intensively on making a good bicycle infrastructure. We are now preparing 120 kilometers of bicycle path in the city center. Alongside with that, we also this year are launching the public tendering, public call for the public bike operator, which will include 150 bike stations. We also restarted the Belgrade Metro project. This was something that was forgotten for quite a few years. We are back on the table with that. It is not something that will happen fast, but that is something that we need to start working on. So now we are actually dealing with the concept, with the company that is on board, and after that we will make the planning documentation, and of course after that we hope in next few years we are going to start with the first line of metro. Some of the major investors that already started, of course, Belgrade Waterfront Project. This is just one of 4 buildings that is starting. Another one is the Belgrade Tower, which has already started piling. There is another resi building behind this one with another 40-something square meters. There is a contract signed with the W Hotel for a W Hotel building, which is down the river, downstream from this one. And of course the shopping mall, which will be one of the biggest in this area. These are some of the public spaces in that area. It's on the river banks. So we really want and insist that everything that is being done in the city goes along with our politics, that we want to make the public spaces priority, because everything that you guys build as investors and all the infrastructure that we build to bring you in, we actually want to use to make the city a better place for living, to put the quality of living on the city on a higher level, which again means that a lot of people are going to come to live here and then buy your apartments and enjoy life in the city. Block A, Central Garden, some new resi project, GDC, Navigator, Sirius. These are just some of the projects that are either finished last year or on the way to be finished this year. Societe Generale opened a new headquarters. Airport City is expanding. Borča Shopping Center was finished last year. IKEA is on the way to open its gates this summer, hopefully. We also expect 5 new shopping malls to open in the time to come. It's Belgrade Plaza, which actually just recently changed the owner, so it's going to be called Big. There is Ada shopping mall, which is, we have a groundbreaking ceremony in the next couple of days. There is also a new shopping mall on the way next to Vero in Zvezdar municipality. There is another one on the way also in Rajićeva Street, which will be open very soon. There are 2 more which are now in the planning phase, So basically, Belgrade will completely change this sector in the next couple of years. This is Ada shopping mall. Now something that we did in the city center, because with all this planning, we did allow more investors to come in, to pay the taxes, and with these taxes, we want to make the city better, we want to make the city more beautiful, and a better quality place, so that you come again and reinvest. So these are just some of the pedestrian areas that we did in the last 2 years, with the plans and with the works ongoing to expand it. We make new terminals, we make the city logistics work better. This is Terazije Square, the future look. Pedestrian areas also in the old part of Zemun. This is again the promenade. A lot of small things in the city, punctual things which actually make the city look nice, not only in the very center, but all over the neighborhoods that have been in a way neglected. This year we're actually planning to start Slavia, reconstruction of Slavia Square, which is one of the main squares, Republic Square, Karađorđeva Street, which is just next to the water, and that will connect the city center, Belgrade waterfront, and Kalemegdan Fortress. This is a new pedestrian bridge which will connect Kalemegdan Fortress with the river. This is an interesting project because here we have on board two very big names in the art. That's Richard Deacon from Great Britain. That's one of the biggest sculptor of today, and he's doing this project together with our biggest sculptor, Mrđan Bajić, and this will be not only a passerella bridge, but it will also be an art piece, a very interesting art piece, which we hope will bring more tourists to the city of Belgrade and, of course, make the city better. These are some of the marketplaces that we are reconstructing this year. We plan to do a new city museum. We just had a competition. This is the winning project. It will be in the city center. We also finished the project of the city gallery, which will be in Kosončiće Venac. So basically, everything that we are doing is to make the quality of life in Belgrade on a better level, which means more investors, and with more investors, again, more money to improve quality. Thank you very much.